How's it going? This is John Kelly and my good friend Jeremiah Stringer, who apparently is told that he is a fine-looking man when he goes to gas stations.
Well, yes. How'd you know about that?
And we are here with the Backpacking Podcast. You excited to be back, man?
Dude, I can't believe I'm here right now. Thank you for coming to my house.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I mean, this is the famous Jeremiah Stringer video studio.
That's what they say. I was thinking about calling it the green room.
The green room?
I don't know. Because, the walls are green.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I like it.
If you got a different one, man, hit me with it.
I just feel like so official now. Like I've hit YouTube stardom because I'm in this studio with you right now. Like you just crossed the 3,000 subscriber plateau recently.
Yes, and I can't believe it. Dude, I remember I had almost no subscribers, and I was like, I'm going to do this, do a video a day for a month, like in December 2018.
No, I remember that. I watched every one of them.
Oh, man. That was the worst idea I've ever had in my entire life.
You know, I was a Jeremiah Stringer fanboy at that point.
No.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
There's no such thing.
Heck yeah, bro.
There's no such thing.
I was totally a Jeremiah Stringer fanboy.
Do you want to know something really cool, though? Somebody on my way into the gym, I can't remember his name, but hopefully he's listening to this. He stopped me and said, "Hey, I heard the podcast." So if you're listening, next time if we cross paths at the gym, man, that made me feel really good.
Yeah, dude.
I really appreciate it.
I'd love to know what his name is.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
I think I've seen him around there quite a bit because I go play basketball.
Yeah. Well, do you like the pseudo Shill Brothers setup we got going on here?
I do.
We're almost official.
Yes. If I can rip off the Shill Brothers, I know I've made it.
I'll tell you, man, if you can be anything like the Shill Brothers, then basically you have hit the pinnacle of, I would say, YouTube podcasting.
I think, dude, have you met them?
No, I'm hoping to soon.
Okay,
I'm hoping to soon. Yeah,
they're super fun. I just went with them, me and backpacking with Jason and Sam. Sam, I didn't know him at all.
Sam's the guy that's always with them, but he doesn't do the YouTube thing. He's just in their videos, right?
He knows how to hammock, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Poor Kevin laid on the ground.
Oh yeah, does he have like some kind of back or hip problem or something?
I don't know. I think he was just like in the process of moving.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. Like he did some video about it not long ago, just talking about how he was having some kind of body problem, and it had to do with him sleeping in a hammock. And he actually had to go to ground. He didn't want to. He kind of reluctantly went to ground.
No way.
At least that's the rumor I heard. So
I think I'm okay on the ground if I get a new mattress pad.
Yeah, you're not going back to ground. You got the UK, the pride of Kentucky.
The pride of Kentucky.
Man, I saw that hammock of yours, man.
Dude, I made a mistake hammocking on my most recent trip with the Shill Brothers and Jason and Sam. And basically what I did was Andy was trying to give me some pointers on hanging my hammock. But me, being a stereotypical guy, I was like, I don't know about that, Andy. I don't know. I think
they've only been doing it for like 15 years or something.
Well, this is like my second or third night or whatever. And yeah, he's been doing it forever. And I was like, I think those trees are a little bit too close together. Boy, was I wrong. I was like, let's do these other ones. I'll hit. The first time I was in Pennsylvania, right? So I just put out that video. And I had to readjust the tarp because I was getting straight draft right under there. I think I had the tarp pitched the wrong way.
Oh, yeah?
It's supposed to be perpendicular to the wind blowing in.
Right.
So the shills told me. And so I had paid no attention at all. And then I went to sleep, and the wind chill was 0 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. And so my butt got a little cold. I'll tell you what I did. I got this... Well, first of all, I just completely lost a couple of hot hands in there, so that felt better. And then I have a heated vest. So
I saw that you had a heated vest, man.
I put it under my butt and just turned it on, put 20,000 milliamp hour charger on there,
and
let it go all night. Worked out good. But anyway, Andy, he's like, well, these trees will still work, but, you're perpendicular to the wind, so that's good. Your tarp's going to catch it. And you're not going to get that draft through there. He's like, but they're pretty far apart. I was like, it'll be fine, man. Should have went with his advice.
Yeah, they might know what they're talking about.
It gives you a bigger pocket, man. I don't know any of this stuff. You know what I'm talking about? The pocket for the hammock?
Yeah.
Tell me about it, man.
I don't. I just know that, like, there's a certain way you want your straps to hang.
Yeah.
And there's a certain angle you want to go with. And Chad from UGQ, the way he explained it to me was like you put up your fingers like you're shooting a gun.
Yeah.
and the angle should be from your thumb to the tip of your index finger. That should be the angle of your straps, and that's the ideal hang for your hammock.
You want to hear something really crazy about that?
What's that?
I'm a geometry teacher.
Uh-huh.
Little known fact. And that whole, like the gun shape.
Yeah.
So this is a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle.
Uh-huh.
And your thumb, let's say it's 3 inches long. Well, that means the distance from your thumb to the end of your pointer finger along your hand would be whatever your thumb width is times the square root of 3. That would be the perfect ratio for that hammock hang strap if we're saying that it's that shape, which I've heard before.
Yeah, yeah.
Poor geometry. Who thought it would be useful?
Well, here's a question for you. Like, by the way, if you're listening, this is we've only been around. This is only our second episode.
Yeah, we're doing more though. We're gonna do more.
We're gonna do. We might even record a couple of these tonight.
I'm having fun. Yeah.
So, I want to talk to you tonight about winter backpacking. Because between last year and this year, you've had a few opportunities to get out and do some winter backpacking. Mm-hmm. You had 2 really good opportunities recently in Pennsylvania and Ohio.
Yeah.
I tried to go winter backpacking in early January, but it was 60 degrees out. So it was like,
that's okay too.
It was nice, but I was hoping to get an overnight. I'd just gotten a 0-degree quilt from UGQ.
Sure.
And I was wanting to use it and get out. It was what I got for Christmas.
Did
and
you use it?
No, because it was too hot.
It's too hot, man. I figured you'd sweat.
I had to use my Enlightened Equipment 20-degree.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get a chance to try it out, and I really wanted to. But I am going up north here in a few weeks, and I'm going to definitely... If it's not cold when I go on this trip, then there's not going to be any cold left this winter.
Yeah.
But I'll just leave it at that. I can't really say a whole lot about the trip right now because... it does involve some other people that I think they want to keep it kind of on the low key until when the time comes to release some videos.
Surprise, man. Leave it as a surprise.
Yeah, leave it as it is. But I am excited about that trip.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell me about, one, being out there in the cold, and then 2, kind of the things you've learned along the way from just what you pack, what you forgot to pack, what you overpacked, things you would change and tweak. I know you got a Ghost Whisperer jacket recently, and you made the comment to me you kind of wished you hadn't bought it because you said it wasn't as insulated as you had hoped.
Yeah.
And so just kind of tell me a little bit about this stuff.
Well, first, let's go back 2018. I didn't really do any winter backpacking, I don't think. Not that I can remember. But this year, I've had the opportunity to go a lot more. And, of course, I started in June of 2018. So really, winter backpacking, since I just started a few months before, wasn't in the repertoire. And I didn't have the right gear.
Right.
So to keep things safe, I didn't go at all. And then this year, I've went, several times. That trip to Pennsylvania, I think, is either the coldest or the second coldest I've ever been on. Now,
what was the temperature during that trip?
Well, that trip was snowing like the whole way there. Jason and I, backpacking with Jason, actually got a hotel on the way, like 10, 11 p.m.
I just want to say, watching you two guys, I'm a northerner. I live in Kentucky, but I grew up in like upstate New York and northern Ohio, and so icy roads and stuff like that, I'm used to. I lived in Wisconsin for 4 years.
That's scary, man.
But watching your guys' reaction to these roads...
Come on, dude, don't do me like that.
So cracking up, because you guys were like freaking out. And you could just... I'm watching Jason. I bet you... dude was white-knuckling
the whole way.
That steering wheel.
Yeah, it's scary, man. In Kentucky, I don't know where you all are listening to this, but in Kentucky, 3 inches of snow is like a state of emergency.
Oh, it shuts down the whole interstate system.
And nobody knows how to drive. That's the scariest part. You see jackknifed semis everywhere. You see cars turned over.
And it starts the phenomenon we know as the milk sandwich.
The milk sandwich,
everybody buys
man.
up every loaf of bread and every gallon of milk in the grocery store.
So if you're somewhere that gets hurricanes, and you know how like the grocery stores are completely wiped. You're expecting flooding. You're boarding up windows. You got sandbags at the doors. That's what the grocery store looks like. Okay, let there be forecast 5 inches of snow. Anywhere below Indiana, and you better believe you're going to be getting some milk sandwiches. I don't know what the deal is with anybody. Anyway, I'm off topic now.
Well, but you're right. Like the milk sandwich is synonymous with snow in the state of Kentucky.
Yes, I don't know.
I bet Jason Waugh makes a mean milk sandwich.
I guarantee it. All you need is a little bread and milk.
That's right, man. I'll bet he takes him. I bet he takes him winter backpacking with him. That's his meal in the mornings. He has a milk sandwich.
No steak.
Every time.
Just milk. So the whole winter backpacking scene, I hopped on the bandwagon this year. Last year, I think, here's a little story for you, okay? So I was supposed to go backpacking with my wife, Bridget, and Kristen and Kevin, who we did the Foothills Trail with. And we ended up supposed to be going to Red River Gorge, and it was a winter trip. And then they changed the forecast. Like, the forecast is updated, and they were forecasting like 40, 45 degrees and rain all day the day that we were going to start backpacking. And then the next day, like overnight, the temperatures are supposed to drop to 15 degrees. Oh. So what happens is you're soaking wet, everything freezes. Like, my pants were frozen stiff. I don't know what I was thinking. Complete rookie mode, I guess. And that was probably one of the coldest I've been on.
Right.
This Pennsylvania trip was probably either tied for that or the second coldest, or maybe even beat it, because the temperature the whole way was snowing, from the morning we got up and left the hotel till we got there. Lance, Outland, shout out to him.
Oh, yeah.
He got his Jeep stuck. We're in a group text. He is so sick and tired of these, Jeep getting stuck.
Dude, can I tell you something funny?
Yeah.
I made sure I commented about the Jeep getting stuck on everybody's videos.
No.
Every single one I made a comment about
That's
Lance's
so nice.
Jeep. And I barely know Lance. I just thought it was hilarious, so I just wanted to make comments about it. I'm a troll, dude. I don't even lie. I'm a freaking troll.
I'm going to tell him to listen to this.
Yeah. Lance, we talked about getting together to hike. Please don't pull that out from me. I'd love to get together with you sometime, but that's freaking hilarious about his Jeep.
Man, he's a super nice guy. I love that guy.
Everything I've seen about him, he just seems like a really genuine dude.
He is. And the intro to his video for this Pennsylvania trip
was sick.
Oh my gosh. I dream of doing cinematic stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He did a really good job.
I need some advice from him.
Well, even his thumbnails are always really good.
Yes.
His and his logo.
Yeah, that's sick.
He's got an awesome logo. I made a comment about that today on something, just how much I appreciate his logo. So anyways, back to cold weather. Let's get back to some cold weather.
Okay. And by the way, don't let me forget, I'll send you one of his stickers home with you.
Ooh.
Yes. I got you. I got you, fam.
They're in my
dude.
Truck. Well, now that you're saying that, hold up a second.
What?
Time out. So I get these sticker packs, and I got you 3 stickers that I had dual stickers of.
What?
Yeah, I got certified gear hoarder. Got the trail is calling, and this last one, I hike, therefore I am.
Oh my gosh, I love
there you go,
that,
man.
dude.
I got you some new stickers for your sticker wall.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got you hooked up.
If you've only listened to the podcast and you've never watched a video, I decided to do a little sticker board. Dude, you think I should save these and stick them in the next video? You think I should do it now?
I mean, dude, you know what? You do you. I will not judge one way or the other.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
You could do one in each video so that I get a shout out in each of your videos and you get me more subs.
Hey, that's a good idea, man.
That's just me being totally selfish.
I'm going to put them right here.
There we go.
And I'll tell you this also.
I'll give you a sticker each week if it gets me in your videos.
Dude, if you send me a sticker each week, I'll sing your praises.
You sing my praises?
I'll run out of places to put them.
You're going to get a new board.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do, man. Yeah, one of my favorite stickers, that North Country sticker from the Michigan Hammock Hang.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. And by the way, speaking of the wall, I know the people listening can't see the wall.
Yeah.
But that's why they need to check out the videos from my shameless plug right now.
Yeah.
But
Jeremiah Stringer Hikes on YouTube.
So, I think it's Falling the Aggies maybe, or somebody else. I'm sorry if I'm misquoting who said it, but they told me to hide something in the background of my videos on the wall, and so I did, and nobody's seen it yet. And so maybe you can find it in the next video. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. But they said hide some other things, so I may have some random channels stuck in there that nobody has seen just yet.
I see one.
So
I'll keep my mouth shut. I saw one.
Don't spoil it.
I saw one. I did see one.
So anyway, the winter backpacking. Back to it.
Yeah, let's do this.
This is what's fun about a podcast, man. I can talk about anything I want, even though it's dumb, and I have fun.
But you're very informative.
Well, thank you.
You're very informative.
Thank you. So the winter backpacking, the Pennsylvania, we hiked in. Man, it was absolutely gorgeous. I've never got to hike into snow like that. And I would love to do like Miyagi Miyagi on the trail doing his like deep winter stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He did some really great stuff, and I'd love to do something like that. But at first I thought he was kind of crazy for doing that.
No, he is. He is. Like, I love Miyagi, dude. That dude he's a good guy, but he's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
I mean,
That's tough.
and he prides himself on being somewhat crazy.
Yes, the FKTs.
Yeah, if you
That's
talk
just
to him
not
about
for
stuff,
me.
you talk to him about his trips, and he's like, if I'm not sore or fighting off frostbite, it's not worth going. I mean, that's kind of like, that seems like that's kind of his thing, and dude is extreme.
Well, let me mention this before I finish up with the winter backpacking and talk about Zaleski, because the Ohio weather smacked me right in the mouth too.
Oh,
So
I can imagine.
So I made this Red River Gorge video with Miyagi and Hunter's Trip, who is a new YouTuber, but he's got the Instagram game going strong.
Yeah, he does.
So I was editing the video, and there's one shot in there with Miyagi. He squats down, and he like just gives like the rock out symbol, like the horns to the camera, and then walks on. Dude, he squatted down. I saw his quads on the front of his legs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, he looks like an Olympic weightlifter. Like, his quads are insanely fit.
Yeah, dude.
He's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, he's a
Crazy
cop.
strong. Yes,
So it's like, I mean,
that's part of his job.
And he's a short cop. So it's like I get this because I'm short too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I bet he's got that Napoleon complex a little bit, where it's like, oh, I may be short, but I'm gonna kick your tail if you mess with me.
Mental strong,
Yeah,
and physically strong.
physically strong.
Yeah. Anyway, I love him.
Miyagi.
Anyway, Pride of Kentucky.
That's
Thank
right.
you. So, the Pennsylvania, we had a lot of fun. I don't know, man. Hiking out in that snow. It's just like, I think Jason's video, I just stopped, or he may not even put this in it, but I just stopped and closed my eyes and just took a moment, breathed in. It's just peaceful, and it's so quiet too with all
bugs.
the snow.
No bugs.
No bugs. The sound's dampened. It's just you, your buddies, or maybe you by yourself. Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about the Ohio weather too.
Yeah, well, I will say this to kind of add with what you're saying.
Yeah.
It can be creepy at night
Yeah.
because
silent.
it's so silent. And like when I was at the gorge, I mean, it wasn't cold and there wasn't snow, but the bugs were gone. You know, there were no bugs. So when the wind blew and every leaf that moved sounded like there was some animal nearby.
Probably was, man. Probably bears.
It was probably like a giant grizzly bear in Kentucky because we have those there. But no, it's just like you hear every little noise. And so it does kind of creep you out a little bit when you're sleeping at night because you hear every single noise.
Now, here's controversial. You use the earplugs?
I do sometimes, but not when I solo camp.
Really?
No, not when I solo camp.
I think
The only
it
reason I'll
depends.
bring earplugs is for snorers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason I have earplugs because I don't like listening to other people snore.
That's discriminatory, man.
It is because I'm a snorer. It makes me a hypocrite. But and I may be bringing like my next backpacking trip. The other guys that are coming, I might be bringing them some earplugs just because I care and I'm that kind of guy.
That's nice. Maybe
You
they'll
know?
bring you a mobile CPAP machine. Is it C? Yeah, that's what it is, right?
I think so. But I mean, I don't like stop breathing or anything in my sleep. I mean,
I thought they
come
don't
on, man.
snore, man.
That's not just for snoring. It's for people that like stop breathing in their sleep.
Oh, okay.
That's
My
sleep
bad.
apnea, man.
My bad.
That's what killed Reggie White.
Really?
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know, man. I'm just here for a
Okay,
good time. man.
Ohio. Let's talk about
Okay,
Ohio.
so Ohio. We got out of the car there, and the Shill brothers were immediately recognized. I mean, somebody passed us, turned around, and drove back to the vehicles where we had parked. And there was only us there in the parking lot. Pulled up, real cool guy. I was headed off to go to the bathroom and do my business, so I didn't stick around. But he stopped there and talked to him for a few minutes. And then we were on the trail. They got recognized again. Weather was okay at the time. And then everything all went downhill on the weather. But Jason come in clutch. I'll tell you why. He brought this Tarp.
Yeah, I saw that in the video.
Mm-hmm. And I carried it. And I was like, man, if I can use that, I'll definitely carry that. And stuck it in my pack. I actually had to close the lid, the brain of the pack over it, because I had no room. Because here's what I learned about winter backpacking. I need a lot of clothes because I'm a big sissy, and I get cold super easy. I don't know what it is, dude. I'm serious. So I weighed 300 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And then I lost that weight.
And you
ever
lost your
since,
insulation.
I don't know. Yeah, I think so because I was just so overweight for so long that maybe my body was just acclimated to that. And now that I've cut, a lot of that weight, I'm just cold. Like even at work, I'll wear a jacket. Like that Ghost Whisperer you mentioned.
Yeah.
Which let's talk about that. That Ghost Whisperer, I wear it at work a lot, and I got another buddy that does some backpacking, camping stuff. He's like, "Oh, you got the puffy on, man. You must be burning up." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm comfortable, even indoors, regulated temperature." So the winter backpacking, I just straight up layer up.
Yeah.
I do base layer, and some people forget, I think, is the bottom half of the body. Like, do you wear thermals under your pants? And
I've actually got some Under Armour cold weather tights.
What number? Did you get the 3.0?
I don't know. They were cold weather tights.
I'll check those out. They're expensive.
Well, I got them. Man, I got those back in I guess 2015. Because I got those for Kilimanjaro.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, so I mean I've got those, and then I've got pants like what I'm wearing right now, and then I can put on like rain pants over top of that.
Yeah.
Which just keeps up the wind from bothering my legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm usually pretty good at that point if I've got those three things going on.
I wonder how the wind pants would. I wonder if that would help me a whole lot, because I really don't use them ever, like the rain pants.
Yeah.
But you're right; they'd stop the wind really well.
Yeah, it's the drafts that get you.
Yeah,
it's always the drafts. It's never anything else. I mean, like even when we went to the Michigan hammock hang, it got down to like 40, I think, during the day.
Yeah.
I never wore a puffy the entire time. I just wore like a sweater with my my raincoat over it.
Man, I could do cold and sunny all day long, but the wet, kills me, man.
Now, did you guys have freezing rain? Is that what happened to you guys?
Yeah. Speaking of, that's a good segue. We set up that tarp, right?
Yeah.
And that thing was so clutch. And Jason was just like, "Man, this is exactly what this tarp is made for. It's a cheap Eno and good like starter for a 10-foot hammock or 11 foot if it's 11-foot tarp or whatever." But anyway, he put it real close to the fire, and he's like, "Man, if we burn this thing up, I don't care. It's cheap. I'll buy another one as long as we're dry." And it done exactly what we needed to do. We hung out under that thing, stayed warm. Except for me, I had to sit outside it a little bit because I was the only loser without a chair. It makes me sad.
I've been getting on you for a while, man.
No, dude, but it's just hard to break down and buy one. Jason, he let me borrow one that's a little bit heavier than the.
Probably the Chair 1.
Yeah, what's the brand?
Helinox.
The Helinox, yeah.
Probably the Chair 1, because I've got the Chair 0, which is the 1-pounder, and the Chair 1 is like a 2-pounder, I think.
Well, this one is not a Helinox.
Okay.
It's called I don't know, hike chair or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Is it Gonex?
Oh, no.
Is that what it is?
Don't start on the Gonex. Is it Gonex?
I don't even know, man.
I don't know. This Chinese company sent me the backpack, and I was like, yeah, I'll do the review for you. And then I actually took it out with the Shill Brothers, and it's just not the right size.
It's an attractive backpack, though.
It's black and red.
It's an attractive backpack. It definitely has the color scheme I'm down with. So that was kind of cool.
If you want to try it out,
I'm good, dude. I'm good. I actually just got a new backpack. We'll talk about that another time.
All right.
So,
man. Anyway, he gave me this camp chair because I had to sit out from under the tarp a little bit. Whenever it would stop raining or it was barely like freezing rain, I would lean up against a tree. One of my favorite things is sitting up against a tree. You got full backrest. I like the chairs too. You're off the ground, you got a little backrest. But with a full backrest with the tree, supporting you, feel so good, and you're sitting on your sit pad. I doubled up on the sit pad because those other guys didn't need them. They actually had chairs.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty comfortable until I started getting wet. And
it's like 12 degrees outside.
Yeah. I was thinking, man, I wonder if Andy would let me use his knees as backrest. That'd probably be pretty comfortable. I was like,
That's not awkward at all, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I didn't ask him.
That's not even awkward in the least bit.
That's why I didn't ask him. And I'll tell you
Andy, hey Andy, hey cutie, can I lean up against your legs?
I didn't say it like that.
I'm sure Andy was just like, "Oh, sure, Jeremiah, that would be great. I'll give you a shoulder massage."
Oh, let me change it on you. So, Bridget and I, we were in Nashville, and we were just walking down, and there's this like Mountain Outfitter store or something like that, and we had just had breakfast, and we were just hanging out a little bit, walking down a strip or whatever. And I saw this store, and I was like, let's run in there. And she's like, all right, yeah. And then I found a Helinox, even smaller chair. It's called a Mini. Have you seen that?
No.
It weighs right at exactly 1 pound. But I thought the
zero's a
weighed
pound. It's like 1.1, I think.
Well, this was exactly 1 pound, like pack weight.
Ooh.
So if you're into that kind of thing, but here's the catch.
It was $827.
Well, I didn't even check the price because I wasn't going to buy it. Yeah. But I did put it together, and then I almost sat in it. And right before I did, something crossed my mind. If I break this, I had to buy it. And this possibly could be made for children. So if I sit in it, and then the guy at the counter just looks at me and sees it fall and break, he's going to be like, man, this guy's such an idiot. This is a chair for children. Why is he sitting in it?
And then they'll be like, isn't he a YouTuber? Why is he making YouTube videos? I don't even know how the chair works.
Who's that loser? So I checked the weight limit on it. Guess how much?
Like 185 pounds.
Oh, you're really close.
Really?
I'll give you one more guess.
200.
Oh, spot on, man. It's 198.
Wow.
I was like, I'm 200 on a good day.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're like 7'3", man. There's no way you're under 200 pounds.
Yeah, I think I'm like 215. So I didn't chance it, man. If it was like a aluminum ladder or something, I would be like, that rating's probably like a little bit, down for safety. But the chair,
the chair zero is like 265. I think is the chair
I
zero.
I can do that.
And I definitely creep closer to that area of the weight calendar. And but I fit. I mean, I've never had a problem with mine. So
they're really comfortable. I
love mine.
When I went backpacking with Dan, like Dan Becker and Jason Wish, and some other guys, I tried out each of theirs, and that was the first time I ever sat in one.
So did Jason Wish just kind of like leave you? I mean, I've met Jason, and we got a chance to hang out at the Sheltoe Trace celebration event for all of us that finished it this last year, and got to talk a little bit. And that dude is an athlete. I mean, he's not just like a backpacker. Dude is a freaking athlete, and he goes, man, we ought to get together and backpack. And all I'm thinking is, man, I'm going to have to get on a treadmill for like 5 hours a day
for 2 years.
just to be able to not be an hour behind him.
So the backpacking that we did, to be honest, we only hiked, and we had to not hike in. I think it was like 3 to 5 miles.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and then we had to hike back to the vehicle, and then we drove the vehicle. Instead of like hiking 8 miles plus hiking where we were going to camp, which is like, I don't know, a few miles in,
right.
We were like, let's just drive closer, because we're going to pass the vehicle, literally pass the vehicles on the way. Let's just drive them closer, and then it's only 2 or 3 miles to our campsite, so we got a lot more time to just hang out and have fun. It's more of a camping trip.
Yeah.
This is Hoosier National Forest, I think is what it's called. Hoosier State Forest.
Hoosier
Mama. Look at you. You're such a dad.
I don't know where that came from. It's just like the moment you said it, the first thing I was like, "Who's your mama?" It's not even funny. It's like it's like not even funny.
I gotta laugh at it.
That's good. Somebody's gonna laugh at it.
Anyway, I'm always last to get up for some reason. I don't know why, but
it's the truth, man.
Seriously.
Every time we've gone out, you've been the last person up.
I don't know what it is. I think it's because, I have a 9-to-5 job, and so I get up every morning. I know some people are hating on me because I say I get up at 7, and then they're like, I got to get up at 5:30 every day. Well, like, what are you talking about complaining? I get up at 7 every day. So when I get the chance to sleep in, I do.
I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest for a second. There's something really awesome about sleeping outside.
I don't know what it is. I think it's like just getting closer to nature.
Yeah, it's honestly one of my favorite parts about going outdoors. Like my wife will even tell you, if I had a hammock stand in the backyard, at least one night a week I'd be sleeping in my hammock. Because I love sleeping outside.
What do you think about putting a hammock inside your living room? Because I have friends that do that. Like
my kids would destroy that thing.
That's true. I don't have kids.
You don't have kids, but I think your dog Golden Graham might like destroy your hammock. Yeah, I don't know.
That daggone dog, man.
I got Golden Graham hair all over me right now.
I'm
when
sorry.
I came over the house. That dog loves people.
It's what he does that to everybody.
That's a cool dog, man. I like Golden Graham. We're pals now.
Well, I feel a little bit bad saying this, and maybe she's not listening, or maybe she is. But I have a friend. And this completely different friend than what I just said about the hammock. This friend, the only time that she goes outside is like if she's on the beach or she's like going to shop or whatever. or just traveling.
Dude, my wife listens to this. You got to quit talking about
It's
it.
not.
Like she listens to my podcast.
No
man.
offense.
Come on, man. I love
It's
you,
not
babe.
your wife.
I love you, babe. Don't be mad at me.
You're so cute. Well, I'm like, you realize, I don't know, I feel bad saying this because I feel like I'm hating, but you realize, like,
You are hating right
I know,
now.
I might as well own up to it. Right?
You're a hater, and just admit it.
I'm just gonna admit it.
Own
and
it.
Own it. Yep, own it. Look, if you never like go outside to actually do stuff and have fun, that's fine. But you also have to keep things in the perspective that it wasn't always this way. Like this house that we're sitting in right now is such a privilege, and people haven't always lived this way. And so I always imagine the type of people that they never go outside and do anything. I just imagine, what if you were born 500 years ago? Like, that would be a hard life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think there's something primal in getting back out and enjoying the outdoors.
I also think, though, you don't miss what you never had. So I don't think if these people were born back then, it would be as big of a deal because, I mean, you never had it to begin with. So you can't miss air conditioning if you never had it in the first place. I think that's why you can see little kids in Africa who are starving to death running around with grins on their faces and playing with a rock and thinking it's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because they've never had anything else.
I agree.
I think it says a lot about who we are as people to begin with, that we are so programmed to need stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we really are. Even backpacking, man. Like, if you look at pictures from, like, when the Appalachian Trail first started, some of the backpacks those people were carrying and, like, gear. I mean, 60, 70 pounds was nothing back then. And nowadays, it's like, if you don't have, like, a 9-pound pack weight, you don't have, like, man, if you can't get your base weight down to, like, 8.7 pounds, boy, you ain't backpacking. You're just a lazy piece of garbage.
Don't email me out. That's his comments. Don't email me.
Seriously, I mean,
I know.
right?
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
It's amazing how many of us get caught up in that stuff, but it's just like we're so spoiled. Like, I've got a 0-degree sleeping bag, 0 degree, and the thing puffs up like 2.5, 3 inches thick. Mm-hmm. It weighs less than 2 pounds.
That's ridiculous.
What the? Seriously, I mean, it's like when you think about that, where technology is and backpacking gear. Mm-hmm. But that's why it's so cool talking about this cold weather stuff, because it's like you look at gear that you can get to protect you against that. I know, like, I've got an Arc'teryx sweatshirt that I bought recently. It was on clearance on REI, and it's normally like this $200 sweatshirt, which it's still just thinking $200 for a sweatshirt blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I got it for like $75 or something. Which still, $75 is a lot of money to me.
Man.
That's a lot to me. But man, that thing, you put that under, like, on top of you put that as your mid layer, like, get your base layer, then that thing, you put a puffy over that, and dude, you are warm. I mean, that thing is, it's thin, it's super thin, but the technology and the fabric is just like mind boggling.
Yeah, that's a great brand too.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell you, speaking of mid layers, because you mentioned I know we completely went off the rail there, but you mentioned the Ghost Whisperer that I bought. And I know that you were looking at the synthetic one. And I was like, I think I really want the down one, and I'm not going to get it wet, blah, blah, blah. And so I bought that. And I was like, why is this thing not super warm? I gave a lot of money for this.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember who I was talking to. I talked to a few different people about it because they ask, people are interested in buying that. It's a really, really light jacket. And so I was talking to somebody, and they're like, yeah, but what you're thinking is not what that's designed for. And I think Chad at UGQ, I talked to him about it too, just like, off the record with him, which is now on the record, I guess. But he was like telling me, I know.
Well, if you're talking to Chad, it probably went off the rails too.
Yeah,
Chad's a funny dude, man.
Yes.
He's a funny guy.
So he was like, yeah, but you got to remember that it's designed as kind of like a mid-season. And also Miyagi was telling me this too. I remember now. It's like a mid or like a 3-season jacket. It's not like it's supposed to be your outer layer for 0-degree weather. It's not what it's designed for. And it's not super, super stuffed because they wanted to make a really light jacket. So if they had to put twice as much down in there, it would have been a lot heavier. Mm-hmm. And so I also think that's a marketing thing. Like if you can say you have the lightest puffy or whatever,
Right.
then that's a good marketing tool. So Mountain Hardwear can sponsor me. I'm sorry, I'm not downing your jacket.
Did you hear that, Mountain Hardware?
Hit me up.
Sponsor this guy.
Hit me up.
That's right. So yeah, I've been saving back some money because of this winter trip I'm taking. Because if it gets as cold as it can be where I'm going, I'm planning on buying another jacket. That's
What do you
strictly
think?
for like really cold weather.
You're gonna do the Arc'teryx?
I don't know if I got enough money for an Arc'teryx, but I'm looking at like a Mountain Hardwear or even maybe a Patagonia, but like a really thick, heavier winter coat. I looked at that thing that Jason Waugh has. That big.
Those are expensive.
That's like a $450. I don't know what you call that thing. It
It's
looks
like a parka kind.
It looks like something they wore in the Lord of the Rings.
yeah, big green.
It's like this green, like it's
Like
made
an
out
army
of,
blanket.
It's made out of goat fur and alpaca underarm hair or something. I don't know. It's like this like weird.
Underarm hair.
I don't
just
know,
got
man.
that.
Like it's just all this stuff it's made out of, but man, that thing looks warm, and he's told me, he's like, it's the best jacket he owns for cold weather.
And it's really heavy, but it's also like very versatile. And every time, so they call him, little known fact, I think he's okay with me sharing this.
Share with me.
They call him the faucet. So if you don't know, he does a little, or did a little bit of like mixed martial arts, some jiu-jitsu, some rolling, that kind of stuff. And he said whenever he trains and that kind of thing, they call him the faucet because he sweats so much.
Ah, gotcha.
Bridget and I were watching his video, or we were watching the Shields one. I can't remember. We were sitting there watching it last night of that trip that we took to Zaleski for the winter trip. And Bridget's like, what is that white thing hanging off Jason's backpack? I was like, Bridget, that's a towel. She's like, why does he have a towel hanging there? And I was like, because he's the faucet, Bridget. He just sweats nonstop. So whenever he's wearing that green, like army, whatever that's made out of, the alpaca armpit hair.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you said,
whatever it is.
you can see he'll take it off and he'll just have steam coming off of him in that cold weather.
Oh yeah.
Because we went to the Ohio meetup. We crashed it, even though we're Kentucky guys. And he wore it there, too. And we got about halfway there, and it's only a mile or two to the campsite we were at. And I was like, you want to stop and take that off? And he's like, yeah, he took it off. Just steam everywhere.
He told me that thing is the warmest thing he owns.
It looks really warm.
He said it is the warmest. It keeps him so warm in cold weather. And he said it's really comfortable. Like, it just feels good when he wears it.
We talked about like the whole primal aspect, and people used to have to, like you talked about, backpackers had to carry a lot more weight.
Yeah.
Well, even before technology advanced that much, if you killed like a grizzly bear or whatever, like cold
In
weather
Kentucky.
animal, not in Kentucky,
Grizzly bear in Kentucky.
in Kentucky. Although Jason did have bear meat, black bear meat.
Oh man, black bear's great. I've been eating that since I was a kid. I got family in Virginia. Every summer we'd have black bear.
We got a season
so
here
good,
now.
Man.
Yeah, because they're so overpopulated in Kentucky.
Yeah.
But anyway, people would have to kill, whatever, and use that to keep them warm in the winter.
Right,
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
And now we can just go buy it. You're going to buy the Arc'teryx or the Patagucci
Or buy a grizzly bear skin
from Kentucky.
from Kentucky.
I would die, man. I probably have to move.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, I'm looking for a jacket that's like really heavy. That's a higher down, like a 900 or 950 down. That's lighter, but insulates a little bit better. Something that's, it's going to be heavy, but if the weather's as cold as, if it gets down in single digits, I'm not wearing my Ghost Shadow jacket.
that's
or
not
even
warm
my
enough.
Patagonia jacket. It's just not. It's not going to handle it. It's going to be way too cold.
Take me through your layering system. What specifically do you layer with upper body and lower body when it gets that cold?
Upper body.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
While you're hiking and it's cold, and when I say cold, I'm talking like freezing or below,
Right.
40. So, and then take me through what you wear at camp too.
Okay. Obviously, when you're at camp, you're going to wear more clothes because you're not moving. So your body's got to stay warm. But
Sure.
I usually still have like a sweat wicking T-shirt.
Okay.
I always wear one, regardless if it's summer or winter. And then I've got a shirt that I found it at Marshall's for like $5.
Yeah.
And it's called Base Layer. That's actually the name of the shirt.
Perfect.
It's this black, literally base layer, like long sleeve shirt. I'll put that on, and then if it's going to be really cold, I'll wear that Arc'teryx sweatshirt, and then usually a puffy over that.
What puffy?
I usually do it's my Patagonia. What's it called? My Patagonia. We'll just go with that because
Patagonia.
I'm blanking right now on what it's called.
They make good stuff, man.
But
It's a little bit expensive, but good stuff.
I wish I'd have gotten a hooded one. That's the only thing I wish is I gotten a hooded one, but
yeah.
it's not hooded. So, but I'll wear that. If it's really cold, I have a Nike balaclava that I got when I did Kilimanjaro. That's basically a ninja mask.
What's it made of? Just synthetic?
Yeah, synthetic stuff, and it's warm. I mean, you don't wear that unless it's really cold.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your hair's going to be like matted and soaking wet, and you're probably going to get hypothermia in your sleep because you're not going to dry up from that.
Sweating so much.
So, but if it's really cold, I'll wear that. And then when I get to camp, if it's really windy, I'll wear what I'm wearing and just throw like a raincoat over top of it, just because the raincoat keeps all the wind out. But if I start hiking, and I'll start off with the puffy on. But usually I get half a mile, 3/4 of a mile in, the body starts warm enough, I take the puffy off. If I don't take it off, I'm just like Jason, dude. I am soaking wet.
Yeah, they say be bold, start cold, right?
Yeah. I remember you saying that. We went out to Big South Fork.
Mm-hmm. That's from the Ohio guys. One of them said that, and I was like, I'll steal that.
Absolutely. But I mean, I always, if I'm first starting out and it's like really cold in the morning, I'll usually start with the puffy on, but I know it's coming off.
Right.
And so I just plain, I get a half mile, 3/4 of a mile up, I'm going to take it off because at that point the body heats up enough I don't need it. Even though it might still be a little cold when I take it off, I don't keep it on because, like I said, I don't want to freeze. I don't want to freeze later because I try to stay warm earlier. I let the body movement heat the body as opposed to the clothing.
It's easy to stay warm while you're moving, pretty much.
Yeah, and honestly, when I'm hiking, I don't wear anything under my pants typically. Like as far as like
you don't do
thermals or anything like that. Not like as far as extra pants, like layers of pants. I'll obviously gonna wear underwear, but I'm like, why did I even need to say that?
No, man, that's not obvious. Some people don't.
That's true.
I know. I will leave them unnamed.
Now, I will say, in the summer, I have running shorts that have a liner in them, and that's all I wear.
No chafing.
No, man. I got my Gold Bond chafe relief, man. I rub that stuff on my legs in the morning when I start. I'm golden, bro.
Were you the person that told me that you wouldn't use the anti-monkey butt because of the smell?
No.
Somebody told me it's got like a smell to it, and it does have kind of a smell to it. Not a bad smell. It's like a.
Have you smelled a backpacker?
I know. Dude.
I mean, does it really matter at that point? Like,
that's true.
I'm a firm believer that it doesn't matter if it smells good or bad. It's all gonna smell bad at the end of the day, especially in the summer. I mean, in Kentucky, it gets into the 90s all the time,
100% humidity,
and that doesn't stop any of us from going out.
Nope.
And so, I mean, I've come back just from one day of hiking, and my wife just looks at me and she goes, "Go take a shower. You smell awful."
Did I tell you about? I want to tell you about two things, actually. First, I'll tell you about Caveman. So Caveman is somebody that I finished my thru hike, one of the brunch club. He's somebody I finished my thru hike with on the long trail over last summer. And he hiked the Appalachian Trail the year before, thru hiked it. And he said whenever he got home, he wore pretty much the same clothes the entire trip for 5-6 months.
I believe it.
And he said when he got home, he washed them, I don't know how many times. Could not get the stink out. He said he just went to the backyard, threw some lighter fluid on it, burned them like a sacrifice to the hiking gods.
You met the Flash, right?
I met the Flash.
You met Brian Carpenter, the Flash.
He's in my latest video. You'll have to check that out.
Yes. So Brian and I went to college together, right? We've been friends for years. He did the Appalachian Trail, and he wore this one shirt the entire hike. And we started the Sheltoe Trace, and I kid you not, 10 minutes in that hike, he smelled like a sewer.
Oh.
Like, that shirt smelled terrible,
Same
man.
shirt?
Same shirt. Like, he kept it. And I asked him, I said, "Dude, that shirt stinks." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You can't get the smell out after a while." And he just kept it, man. And he wore that thing, I think towards the end he was wearing something different. But he wore that green, nasty-smelling, gross shirt for a while. And one end, it's gross. It smells bad. But on the other end, I'm like, dude, that thing was on the Appalachian Trail.
That's trail patina.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like it's like at one point I'm a little irritated that it stinks so bad, but in the other end I'm going, dude, that shirt hiked over 2,000 miles.
You gotta kind of be proud of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
I respect that.
Yeah, I can get past it a little bit because I mean,
still stinks.
But here's the thing: by the end of 2 days, we both smelled like that.
Yeah.
And he just got there earlier than I did.
You know what's really weird about smell is you don't actually smell. You smell, I mean, you smell obviously, but you don't really smell the stinky stuff. You smell a change between your current state and something that stinks more. Like, for instance, if I farted right now, it'd stink for a few minutes. And then you would be desensitized to it. And then my wife comes in here, she'd be like, man, you all stink. You know, even after like 5 minutes, it's the same way on the trail. Like, you get stinky, then you don't even smell each other after a while.
And when you're cold and you do that, you're wearing so many layers, nobody smells it.
That's right.
Because it's all staying in your pants.
Oh, man. I've never washed my puffy, and I used it as a pillow like every night on my thru hike.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to carry the weight of an extra pillow.
Yeah.
And it still smells so bad. Sometimes I'll wear it to work, and I'll smell it while I'm putting it on. I'm like, I guess I'm hiker trash today. I don't want to run into my boss.
So my pillow that I used on the Sheltoe was one of the Trekology pillows.
Yeah,
the one that everybody has.
Yeah.
And so I had the Trekology pillow, and I got towards the end of that hike, and I remember I had taken a month or two off of the trail. I was doing like 3 and 4 day section hikes.
Yeah.
Is what I was doing. So I'd be gone 3 or 4 days at a time and hit 40, 50 miles in a section, and. But I remember getting that pillow out after not going out for a couple months and almost throwing up from the smell because it smelled awful. I mean, it was the worst smell ever. And I was just getting ready to do a video about this pillow and how great it was. And I just pulled it out and put it up against my head, and I was about to throw up, and I had to pretend in the video that this thing was like the most comfortable thing in the world. And the whole time it
is comfortable.
I wanted to gag, dude. That thing smelled terrible.
It's comfortable, but not when stinky.
Oh,
which leads me to my next point. I want to tell you about the second thing.
Yeah.
I remember now. Birdie, who is another member of the brunch club from the Long Trail. Did I tell you about his dad picking us up?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry if you've already heard this, audience members. Birdie's dad picked us up from the Long Trail.
Oh, but he couldn't handle that smell.
Oh, I felt so bad for him. And he had to drive us. It wasn't like it was just like a 5-minute drive. Like, he drove us for a good 4.5 hours. And I remember on the way, I knew we smelled so bad. I even felt bad when I would go in to buy stuff to resupply, because sometimes we would do laundry but not take a shower.
Oh,
and then you'd resupply and you'd just hop back on trail. So there were times where I went 10 days at a time without a shower.
Yeah.
And so I remember we finished and we hiked, and his dad picked us up, and then we left, and we stopped once or twice on the way. And we stopped at a gas station. He rolled his window down. He like had it rolled halfway down the entire way. And it was cold. It was a little bit cold, especially driving on the highway. And I was like, man, will you roll it up just a little bit? And he's like, no, dude, y'all smell awful. And I was like, I know, man. And then I remember I went in to this gas station, and I tried to stay away from people. And you got to kind of embrace it. And I bought a half-gallon of ice cream for us to just pass around in the car to eat on.
Yeah.
There was 4 of us. And we ate that on the way, and I'll never forget. We got back. I'm sorry, Birdie's mom. We walked into the house, and they have this little sunroom next to the garage. And then they opened the door, and his mom was standing there. And I was spending the night with him, and he was going to drop me off at the airport the next morning for me to fly home. I was like, oh, I can finally take a shower, and I can head home.
Yeah.
My long trail through hike's over. And his mom wouldn't let me in the house. She was like she approached us, and she let Birdie in, and she was gagging. And I was like, oh my God, I know I smell so awful. And then she was like, you need to wait right here. And she wouldn't let me in past the sunroom, like into the kitchen. And so while Birdie took a shower, I literally just had to stand there and wait.
Because she didn't want you to come in until you were going to the shower.
Exactly. And she said, do you want to do your laundry? Because I was going to have to fly home, and I was going to have to bring that backpack and all that clothes and stuff on the airplane.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, if I could. And then she was like, all right, get all your laundry together. And I got it together, and I was like, all right, I got my clothes together. You want to grab them? She was like, nope, follow me. And she had me to pick up all the clothes and follow her to the basement to do the laundry. Man, I finally got that shower, and she gave me some of Birdie's clothes. And the next day I put on clean clothes and flew back, and I felt really, really bad because the only thing I couldn't wash was my shoes. and you can't imagine how
Oh
awful.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I just threw the inserts away.
So funny story. We were supposed to be talking about winter backpacking, but somehow we got all this.
We're stinky.
But my first experience with a thru hiker was on the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to McAfee Knob. Me and a buddy wanted to hike up there because we'd seen pictures of it and we wanted to see it. One. And so we hiked up there, and there's this dude up there who was a thru hiker, and man, this guy was definitely not ultralight. I mean, he probably had like a 90-liter backpack. I mean, looking back, that thing was massive. That thing was bigger than him. And I remember it was a skinny guy. It was real short, like shorter than me, like probably 5'5", super skinny. And we were walking back to our car. It was my truck, my white truck. And we were going to head back, to our campsite. We were staying that night because we had driven down the day before and went to a waterfall, and then we came out to see McAfee Knob. And this guy comes walking across the street, and my buddy Tim says, "Hey, we ought to see if he needs a ride somewhere, because he looks like he's getting ready to hitch."
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So we talked to him, and he's like, sure enough, he goes, yeah, man. He goes, I just need to get to the post office. I've got a drop going there, and I just need a ride. And so we're like, okay. And so he hands me his backpack.
Oh, that sounds
brother.
disgusting.
I'm gonna tell you right now, he smelled bad, but that backpack was wretched.
I bet the sweat, a heavy backpack like that.
And it was heavy. I mean, I remember that was the first time I ever thought, I don't want a backpack. Because I was just like, I hadn't done it. So I was just like,
yeah.
I'd hiked a lot. I'd done a lot of hiking. This was like 2016, I think. And I'd done a ton of hiking. I mean, I just done Kilimanjaro a few months before that. And I remember seeing this guy with this huge backpack and thinking to myself, that's got to be the most suckiest, awful experience in the whole world.
Yeah.
I'll bet you that backpack weighed 60 pounds.
Oh, my gosh.
That thing was heavy. So I threw it in the back of the truck. Then he gets in the truck with us. And, man, that smell, that was the first time. That was my first experience with a thru hiker. And I remember thinking to myself, man, that poor guy needs a shower. I wish I had a house I could give him a place to take a shower.
Yeah.
That boy stinks.
That's full hiker trash, man.
It was. And he was the nicest guy. He was the nicest guy. And we made no comments, obviously.
Yeah.
And we both pretended like we didn't smell a thing because we didn't want to embarrass him. We didn't want to make him feel bad.
He knew.
Yeah.
If he was there.
He knew. But but we were very good about not like going, not making those faces or like trying to rub our noses, because your nose gets itchy sometimes when it's that bad of a smell, and so we didn't do any of that, and he left, and I just went, buddy Tim, and I go, dude, that dude stinks. He goes, in my car, I'm not kidding you, it took 2 days to get that smell out of my car.
Oh, I can't imagine. And it's an awful smell.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, it just is what it is. It's half sweat, half butt.
Yep.
It really is. It's gross. No. But I mean, when you're in it, like you said, you don't notice it.
No.
It's not until you go to get on that pillow a few months later and you're like, this pillow is the most disgusting thing I own.
It doesn't take long to build up that stink.
No, it doesn't.
I remember on the Foothills Trail, we was doing that through hike, and it was only like 70 or 80 miles. And whenever, like Bridget and I tented together, we took a 3-person tent and shared the weight. And when we would unzip our sleeping bags in the morning, like we would smell each other's stink just from unzipping it. And I guess you were asleep all night. You get up the next morning. I'm like, man, we smell awful. It's only been like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you about this. Have you seen Dixie's video talking about hitchhiking?
Yeah.
Homemade Wanderlust? She was talking about helping the people out. Like if you're hitching, giving them an out and just being like straight up, hey, I'm so sorry. I did this whenever we hitched on the long trail. I'm so sorry. I know that we smell awful. Like, we're just straight up stinky. If you want to crack the window, man, I don't take offense at all. Because then you're giving them an out.
Yeah.
Like you're being a nice guy.
Well, there's something to be said when you're being polite as a backpacker.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, you know what? We've been at this for almost an hour. Can you believe that?
Hot stuff.
I'll tell you. It's
stuff,
crazy
dude.
stuff. It's crazy stuff. But we're gonna record another episode here in a minute.
Sure.
And we're just going to keep this going. But for right now, for this episode,
cut it.
We're going to cut this right here, and we're going to come back next week. I think we're going to do two weeks here in a row. We have to.
Yes.
We have to with this.
People want it. People want it. And you know what else people want? To check out JK is Hiking.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. That's right.
And possibly Instagram.
Oh, definitely check out JK is Hiking on Instagram.
Yes.
Definitely check that out.
Follow my boy.
And Jeremiah Stringer Hikes.
Look at that, unrehearsed.
Everybody loves Jeremiah Stringer Hikes. 3,000 subs, Jeremiah Stringer Hikes.
Oh my gosh, my ego's getting larger by the
Big
moment.
time. Your head is massive.
I know.
But
thanks, dude.
well, this is the Backpacking Podcast. We're so glad you guys decided to tune in and listen to us. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. We are so glad that you guys have taken some time out of your day to listen to us talk about absolutely nothing.
I know.
So until the next episode, we'll catch you later.
Adios.